You hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello. You hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hey, it worked this time.
Can hear you.
Hey, I can't believe it. It worked this time.
Heck yeah.
How you doing?
Hi, Christine. How are you?
Pinky, I'm good.
Wow.
How are
Look
you?
at you.
It's been a million years.
Holy moly. You're glowing. Love your face.
My face is glowing. Is this just
Yeah.
the lights?
Oh, it's the lights.
Yeah. How are you?
So good. So good.
Yeah. Awesome.
Portia's here.
Yay!
How
Portia's
are
here.
you? Good to see you.
Good to see you too. I've missed you guys. Oh my goodness. I'm happy to be here. Yeah. How are you?
We got a couple new people tonight, I think.
Yes.
Lauren, I think, has a friend that's coming in. Her friend Lori is on now, just audio, so she'll be listening in.
Cool.
Okay. Hi, Lori.
Hi.
Jason is new since you were here, Christine, last. So
Hi,
Jason
Christine.
joined us. She's coming
Yeah.
last
I'm trying
2
to
weeks.
remember everybody's name, so.
You haven't met her yet. She hasn't been here yet. Since
Okay.
Jason, so.
My first time back
Yeah,
in
you're
a
back.
long time.
First time
Probably a
back.
couple months, I'm guessing. And I don't even know the last time I was on. Maybe in
Oh, wow.
August. Yeah, it's been a minute.
All right, what do we got?
Nice.
And let's see.
Portia, the message you sent today, like your messages are just fire. You are such a blessing and you don't even know it. Like there's some days that day you reached out to me, I was having a day, and you're a blessing, just letting you know. Yeah,
She's our
thanks
light
for your.
worker. She's our internal light worker for this brand.
Yeah, I know the message I needed to hear.
Yeah. No, it's beautiful. This light is bothering me over here, so I'm gonna turn it down. Move it a little bit. There.
I'm
Yeah.
glad you.
Yeah. No, you really shine brightly on the world, and I appreciate you for that.
Me too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad to be here.
This tea tastes better with you guys.
Right, that's the community.
Life is just better with you guys. Everything tastes different, smells different.
Right?
You guys, I still
Yeah.
can't smell.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I got COVID back in July. I still can't smell. Like
Oh my God.
I'll occasionally get like a whiff of something, but I was telling my mom so my mom was supposed to go home today. I dropped her off at the airport. She flew to LA. Her plane turned around and flew back to Phoenix because the rain was so heavy in LA.
Oh my
So
Yeah.
I picked her up, came home, and I threw some steaks and some chicken on the grill. And we were just sitting there, and I asked her, I'm like, can you smell the chicken and the steak? And she's like, yeah. I was like, I can't. But that hasn't come back.
Well, I think Oregon got the rain here in Sweet Home.
Really?
It,
It's bad?
it was.
Yeah. Last night you had a big storm, right?
Oh, yeah, it was bad. I guess I sent you that video.
Yeah, you did.
It was bad.
All right, here comes Amber.
Hey, Amber.
And then we got Jess with us too to say hi to Jess. Hi, Jess. I know you're in audio.
Hi, Jess.
Jess is here. Lori's here. Amber's just joining us. Amber.
Hey buddies,
Hi.
Hey, Amber.
I gotta get out in the group shot. Whoa, is that Jason?
Yeah, that's me. I got tired of looking in the mirror and feeling old. My God, I was
Oh
feeling
my
so
God.
freaking old. and hurting, I figured, well, I might look younger again and maybe feel better because I've been hurting lately. This cold weather's been hurting me and everything else, arthritis and all kinds of crap. And I'm just I've had this goatee thing for the last year and it's all white and I
OT, that
look
was a
younger
straight
now, so
beard,
I might
dude.
feel younger.
Yeah,
We'll see.
Like a different person.
I know, it's crazy.
Well, I hope I feel younger when I wake up tomorrow. So
Hey, all right, so we're gonna, I think somebody's gonna be joining us here in a minute, Jess, too, and then Lauren's coming in, but we'll get rolling. So we were just talking, like, as everybody's rolling in, and Christine hasn't been here in a while, and Amber, I know you just came in last second here, but she had kind of just mirrored almost identical what we all just talked about last week about, sharing the meaning for in each other's lives, but sharing a note she got from Portia the other day and the timing of it, like we talked about what this group does for us all and the whole nine, but I bring that up because I want to bring up, Christine, when you weren't here last week, we discussed it last week too, but it kind of sparked the comment I had for the post that I had for this week's message. And it was, about having it so made that all we have left is to complain. And it kind of it sparks from us, I think, having an abundance of freedoms, especially if we all do, obviously, but especially us because we all live in America, one of the freest countries there are. The freedom to do what we want when we want to do it. And that includes doing nothing. I mean, I don't want to downplay that either. It's like we have all these freedoms and opportunities to do pretty much anything we want any given day. But also on the other side, we have the freedom to do nothing as well. And there's not a lot of countries that even allow that. So when you look at it from that standpoint, it's kind of makes me feel bad and selfish sometimes. I think about it from the standpoint of we have so much freedom, we could just do nothing. We could sit around and mope for days, for weeks, quit our job and not work. And still be taken care of in the sense of like roof over our head. We're not starving. We know where our next meal's coming from. We're not being abused every day. Not in a dark situation that we have zero control of being out of. So when I say we have it so made, it's not like the sense of like, oh, you're rich and you're famous and you have a mansion and all the cars. That's not what I'm talking about. Made is as simple as the freedom of the life you're living right today, right? I'm sitting here on a $2,000 computer. I have a $1,000 iPhone next to me recording too. Like, sure, somebody's on a version of that right now. Where's the gratitude in that, right? Like us be able to even connect. What about all the lost souls that can't connect with us because they have no way of connecting with us, right? They don't have a computer or a phone. How much they would love to be on there with us to just laugh and giggle and see our faces and feel good. And just not having the opportunity to do that, 7.5 billion people on this planet. Something like only half are connected and technology and media wise in that way. And that's a lot of people that for both rights, maybe better off, but for some that just can't, right? They don't have that freedom of choice every day that we do. And they don't have it made, if you will. We're all sitting in our homes right now covered. You guys talked about it raining. No home? Where are you? You're in the rain. The people living on the streets, like the gratitude has to be turned around and faced onto how made we have it so that we can stop focusing on what's going wrong in our lives. And I think an abundance of freedom actually causes a lot of this. It causes a lot of, we have so much that it's like, it's easy, like what is wrong? Okay, I need to search out problems that we don't even have. A lot of our problems, and I'm talking about even major ones. I'm going to say things that are insensitive in the way of like, both my parents are gone. That's not I lost some weight too early. That's a problem for me because it hurts, but it's not a real problem. It's not a real struggle. It's not a real problem. It's called life, and it's what happens. God had a timing for certain things and it just happened. That's the way it's supposed to happen because it's part of the process that he puts us through, right? So we are all in the process all the time. And to be in the process there, you won't see the finish. When he's done with you, you'll be gone. Right? You're not gonna wake up for another day. Like that's when he's done. So there's not this point of when am I gonna get there? When is my turn? Or oh my God, this is going on, or I lost, for me, I lost a parent, or I lost my job, or I can't get this job, and my relationship's not doing good. All these kind of minuscule things when you look at the bigger picture of how made we have it, how blessing we have this life we are born into by no choice, right? Like a lot of us have dug and grinded to get to where we are today. But let's like take off our ego hat for a second and be like, you were just born into a situation already that was pretty free. Right? You had a lot of opportunity set right in your lap with zero choice of yours, right? Some of your parents planned you, others were just banging it out and you had you. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, like we didn't have a choice. We were born into a free world. And yeah, I think today, I mean, obviously I know what's going on in the culture today, in the world today, I mean, but it's just amplifying what's been going on, right? It's not like this just showed up. It's not like this feelings of inadequacy or self-worth had just started showing up in this world. I mean, anything you have an abundance of, freedoms, connectivity, you can reach anybody, anytime, so much connectivity. If it's not controlled, it can be very bad, right? You get to witness everybody doing everything all the time. And it's not always a good thing. Now we talk about this connect being good, like healing the heart, healing the soul. This connect good because it's doing something for us, right? We're putting together like minds and we're supporting each other. Like all the organs of the body, we're supporting each other. We need each other to run in the most efficient way.
Well, Portia, them cards, not to interrupt you.
Hey,
well, my dad, I think he needs them. So I ordered a set the other day and I didn't even know they made them. And they just come in. So I'm going to Dad tomorrow.
Heck yeah.
So I meant it kind of a good thing rolls to another good thing.
I love that.
Oh,
it's amazing. Look, and that's what we're doing, right? We're in groups, we're better. We're meant to be. We're meant to be in villages. We're meant to support each other, show up where the other one can't. If you're good at this, I'm good at something else, and you're good at something else. And that's our role in these villages. We need a community of not all the same people, but very different people with the ability to have open hearts, right? So I want to talk about something a little bit that keeps coming up for me in many of my circles and friends' lives. And a good friend of mine I talked to the other day, going through some struggles as well. And it's this kind of the self-worth, kind of depression mode, getting in a spot where past is creeping up on you, living in your past a little bit, feeling guilty about maybe your past, feeling guilty about the life you've already lived up until now. And I want to share a couple of things. One, depression never discriminates. It doesn't see who it is. It does not discriminate. And there's no time on it. It can come and go as it pleases.
That's a
When it's
fact.
there, it can be gone. And when it's gone, it can come back. It's not a curse on you. It's not picked or you're picked on. Everybody goes through levels of it. It does not discriminate. It does not matter who you are, how much you have, or how little you have. It's going to come and go as part of life. It is the process that the Creator put us through. It's the point of living life. If you're not failing and falling and hurting, you're not living. You're just locking all these doors to the life that you're not living. You're trying to protect yourself from this life that you're not even willing to live.
And the gray skies and everything else brings it on to a lot of people quicker.
Yep.
This time of year.
Yeah, exactly. So look, I think we get caught up a little bit with what we think real problems are, one, and we can spend some time at each day and just feel the gratitude of what we do have and how made we really have it, right down to the pillow you lay your head on. You have a pillow, part of a bed. You have covers to like keep you warm, like over a roof. Just all the super simple things that every day you have a vehicle that brings you from one spot to another. Like think about all the time you save, just you have a car. Imagine if you had to walk everywhere. You couldn't afford that. You didn't have that luxury. The small things matter. And if we can focus on those more, we can really take on this notion of how grateful we are to just have been born into what we have already without us doing what we're doing here, trying extra, really investing in our own lives and our own mental health and physical and the whole nine. But the key is to realize that opening up and speaking about these things is the biggest thing. Everybody goes through depression, does not discriminate. It's there. Everybody has these lows. They're always going to be there. But we like to harbor it. We like to harbor it. What if somebody thinks less of me if I share it? What if I prove to myself that I'm not good enough if I tell somebody? What if they judge me? Right? All these feelings, emotion that go through us about why we can't tell anybody, why we can't share. And that one thing is actually the thing that sets you free. Right? Speaking out, sharing in the fact that you're not alone, that you literally, we're all going through it. When you can open up and speak freely about things you've held, I did some studying about the fact that it does affect men more, but it really didn't. That's just to say because of the way we grew up culturally. Men have been taught to, you're the strong man, you can't have feelings, you don't say things, you're tough, you have to take care of everything in that side of things. Women are more emotional, blah, blah, blah. That's just the way the culture has been. But the point is that all of us are taught to keep it in. Don't share that crap with anybody. Oh, you're going through this. We don't get divorced. You don't do that. All these constraints on life that like tell you what you cannot do because you'll be marked with some kind of scar, like a letter on your jacket, like the old days, or like burned at the stake. Like it's all BS. It's a bunch of bullshit. You can be divorced 100 times. It means you're trying to find the person that actually matters to you, the one that leans back into you. You can have a million jobs. It doesn't mean you're bad at what you do. It means you're trying to find the perfect fit for you and them. You want to do something that matters. You feel inadequate about parenting. Listen, nobody's got that shit right. There is zero stats that show the way, right? And that's in everything, working, parenting, relationships. It's how willing you are to see the opposite. Do you want to be rich? Is that your passion? Well, how willing are you to be poor? Huh? I mean, how willing are you to be absolutely dead broke? You want to be rich? Then you got to have what it takes to do both. You got to lean in to do it both. Do you want that great job? Do you want the ultimate relationship? How willing are you to be alone? Right? If you want something great, you have to see the other side. You have to be willing to go to both extremes. And you want the ultimate, you want the best life ever? Are you willing to completely accept death? And all that comes with it, all the fears, the restrictions that come with it in your brain, how you make choices in life, maybe because you're scared of death or you deny death. It's not like a bunch of us are taught about what death is growing up. It's another thing people don't really talk about. And until it happens to you and it's in your face, it absolutely consumes you and you have no idea what to do. Because we don't talk about it. It's the same with these lulls or depression or having these regrets of the past and who I was or what I've done or what happened to me, who's done to me. We got to stop putting locks on all these doors and trying to protect us from a life that we're not living. All right. I mean, it's complete freedom when you are able to share something with someone and watch them, their expression on their face, watch them react to you in a way that you completely thought they would not. And that's what this group's about for me. This is what this group's about, these group of people. We can say and share anything because you know what? We know we got each other's back. We know that nobody's gonna be like, ah, dude, really? All right, we gotta get her off this thing. Maybe we'll just block her from the group and get her off for next week. We won't tell her. I mean, you know what I mean? But that's unfortunately the reality of, I think, life one and these groups too. You know, I've invited a lot of people that are close to me to these. It's up over and over for almost 2 years that will not come on, right? And it has to do with transparency. They don't want to be seen like that because this is real. We talk about real stuff. You know, I want to air it out. I want people to share. I want people to cry. I want to be open up, laugh, whatever it takes so that the rest of us can stand up and you can get on our shoulders. Like that's the point. You can't be in it alone. That's when it feels like depression and misery. When you're in it together, it feels like a moment, not a lifetime. It's not chosen. Nobody gave it to you. God didn't pick on you. Everybody goes through it. Every single person on this planet. There's not a person that gets by. There's not one. It's not discriminatory. It doesn't know humans. And a fun little thing, you know what? I'm not much for like following too many people celebrity wise, but go on Google and search how many people that have struggled massive illnesses of depression that are in everybody else's eyes very well off and successful, but using tools to this day. There's that people today, look it up. It's might blow your mind today that literally have to wake up in the morning, tell themselves to not off themselves and then continue the day. I mean, imagine what that would be like. And we're talking about, you know, this and that's not working out for me. And my boss is mean to me. It's like, listen, choices, man. We live in the freest part of this entire globe. Wake up.
Well, just like right now, Michael, I've been looking at myself since the gloomy weather started. I'm starting to feel old. My beard was white. I feel it starting to feel like crap. And I've been hurting. I said, no, I ain't going to look this way no more. I'm going to start feeling younger. And I just shaved it off about an hour ago. And I told myself, I'm going to feel younger and I'm going to try not to hurt. And I always said I was going to grow a long beard, but no, that's making me look too old and too white. And so I'm changing my ways tonight and I'm going to feel younger.
Heck yeah, dude. Look, you just spoke things out, right? You say them out loud. I think I mentioned this last time. A good friend of mine that's a mental specialist always talks about when you speak things out loud, they have a 10x effect on your life. Either way, not negative or positive, doesn't matter. But when you speak them out loud, not in your head, out loud to others, it changes. It changes the thoughts in your mind. It changes projections happening. That's a fact. That's true. Science. So yeah, speak into existence, man. You want to feel younger? Be younger, man.
And the same goes for things that we're holding on to that are, I just want to interject really fast, Pinky, like things that we hold that are shameful, or things that we hold that are, you know, difficult, right? Like the light shines in the darkness. The light shines on and creates the shadows. You can't, what's in the shadows is going to stay in the shadows unless it steps out to the light. But that minute that you are brave and you take that step and you share with someone, that's when you get that release, right? And like, I think to speak to your point is not only is it going to be beneficial to you, but that moment when you have that release, you don't know what you're doing to encourage somebody else or to build somebody else, right? Like I've been trying really hard to like get more vulnerable on social media, which is like a real struggle for me because I feel like everybody posts their highlight reels, right? Yeah. But like I've gone through some things, right? Like I go through ups and downs and stuff, but like I feel like it's so important for us to like put the realness out there now because so many people are just seeing these highlight reels. Yeah. But our struggles tell a story, and our struggles validate other people's stories when we share them, right? Yeah.
Like, yeah, it shows, it builds unity between us, right? It builds bridges and selfishly, which you have to be in this life. You have to be selfish. It's not a bad word. We use that as youngsters as being this bad thing, being selfish. Your parents, don't be selfish. No, you have to be selfless all the time to be selfless. Like you have to be selfish. You have to pour into you so hard that you are first, you are priority, so you can give all you got. And to your point, Christine, I mean, that's that's exactly the point, to be vulnerable, to show both sides of what it takes to be you. If people look up to you, great. If you're changing lives, great. This is the point. We're supposed to be lifting people up, helping who can't be helped, or helping the people that just don't know how. Each one teach one, pull one up. Like we got to do it for each other and be there for each other. But if you can't be there for your own self, it's going to be really hard. And it's going to lean into those lows. Those lows are going to feel longer and deeper and more isolating and alone. And that's not the point. God put us all here together, this many people, so that we can have villages and communities. And Jess just shared on here, to have your village and your people, your no judgment zone. I like that. You know what I mean? Like there's safety. I can tell you anything because I trust my ups, I trust my successes just as much as I trust to tell you all my failures, all my hurts, all my things that are buried that I lock away. It's like, oh, don't think about it, or don't do that. You're not supposed to. We got to get out of the not supposed to world and get into the, tell everybody world. Speak it out loud, get it out of you. The poison will come out of you when you speak it out. When you harbor it, it changes your cell structure. Amber talks about this a lot. It's, you can, when she's touching people and manipulating them and their bodies and getting them to another place, it's not just about the massage itself, but it's how she touches them, how she talks to them, what she's saying.
Or post stuff that
getting
I
out.
read.
Yes. Because it needs to come out. When you harbor, all that is it's inside of you grinding out, trying to find its way out. It's like a rabid animal inside a cage that doesn't want to be caged. It wants out.
And it's also like you're harboring it, you're building a wall, right? You meet so many people that build walls. It's like, oh, this happened, I'm building a wall because every one of this type of person is going to be like this. So I'm just building a wall, right? What you don't realize is you're building yourself into a box. And eventually there's going to be no light that gets to you. So that's why you're in the darkness, right? So like we have to be careful to not allow ourselves to build walls as reactions to our negative circumstances, right?
Nothing grows without the light, right?
Exactly.
We're told every day that no matter what, even if you're feeling down and out, you're having an off day, which you deserve, by the way. This is not about just be happy all the time. No, just be aware of sadness coming. Speak on it. Text somebody that you trust. Call one of us that you trust. It doesn't have to be the person that's right next to you. Sometimes that's the person you're most scared to tell. But it's got to be somebody. But it can't be what Christine says. You can't keep every day building a new wall, because then you're going to find yourself in a really dark room and not be able to find a light to grow. And as humans, the sun is there for a reason. It's not just because it's a great place to live. It's sunny.
Vitamin D.
The sun is there as part of keeping this globe alive. It's part of the process. It's part of the whole thing. It's not just, for the beaches. So listen, we can't corner ourselves. We deserve more than that. There's people out there that are doing the same thing. There's plenty of support. I added another thing and commented a pretty accurate thing on the post, but I made that little bottle with the real raw and flawed on it, a little medicine bottle. But Portia wrote something pretty good on it. But yeah, it's about, what does this do for you? Not just this group, but like, what does the act of us doing this do for you? That is medicine.
Right.
Speaking is medicine. Talking is medicine. Sharing is medicine. Like
community is life-giving. It's medicine.
Yeah, community is. To feel somebody that's like got your back unconditionally and loves you and supports you and just shows up and sends you letters or writes you messages and leaves messages for you in your voicemail, even though they know you're not going to call them back. Like Amber's been doing that to me for fucking 40 years. It's like, that is the stuff right there. That's the stuff, to consistently show up for yourself so you can show up for everybody else, and know that all the time that this is a plan. This is part of a bigger thing, right? Like you have a great life in front of you, but it's in front of you, right? Not behind you. Whatever happened is done with and over, and it's back there. You know, unless you have a relationship with the director of Back to the Future and you know how to get back there, everybody, it's behind you. There's no going back and doing anything about it. So why harbor the feelings about it? It didn't happen to you, it happened for you. Your great life is in front of you, not behind you. Right? We have to lean into that and trust that no matter what happens, no matter what, and I say that anything, the worst thing you can imagine, no matter what, it's not over for you. You can mess the shit all the way the fuck up in this world and turn it around tomorrow. That's the beauty of choice. It's the beauty of waking up and having another try, right? There ain't no 3 outs in this baseball game. Unlimited outs. That's what God gave you. Unlimited. Keep swinging. Strike, strike, strike. Terrible batting average until you hit a bomb. Feel it. Hit that thing well out of the park and you feel what that's like. I give an analogy in sports. A lot of the records in sports, the all-time crazy records in sports that have been broken and still set time for 20, 30, 40 years. When they get broken, leading up to the point, most of the time it's always talked about as impossible for a human to do. Anybody tell it's impossible. The mile being broken in record time in under 4 minutes, like that was like nobody even, it was an uncalled for. It's not humanly possible. The human body cannot do it. And then when the first guy did it, 20 people did it the same year after him. It's not a coincidence.
That's a quantum leap. That's critical mass. That's when one person, it's the 100th monkey.
Right.
It's when you believe that it can happen, that's when it can
Yes.
happen. No matter how outlandish or crazy it is, you just have to believe it. You have to see it happening
Heck
in
yeah.
order for it to happen.
Right. And that's a big example of something, but like I want to say that it's exactly the example of if you see it like this, if you see us showing up for each other, you can start to believe that this is the way. Right? When you got somebody showing up for you, it is the way. It becomes the way. You don't have to live in anything alone anymore. You don't have to live in a thought alone. You don't have to feel guilt alone. You don't have to feel shame alone. You don't have to feel any of that by yourself because it's not the way we were designed. You got to pull.
Well, and we become the trail markers for one another. It's like you're out on this mountain trail, and when you see, you're like, Mike, what are you doing out here? Christine, holy crap, or Jason, what are you doing here? That's like,
Yeah.
oh my God, I'm going in the right direction. If you're here, things must be bomb. So I must be going in the right direction, right? And it's really just us seeing ourselves. When I used to throw like music festivals and different events and things where I was running security, and I wouldn't be able to be like with all the participants camping all over and all these people everywhere doing all their things, but I would run into people on the trails, and there'd be 5 of us all of a sudden for just like 3 minutes, where we'd all converge on a trail and be like, oh, you guys having a good time? You guys, okay, what are you doing? And you saw this and you did this, whatever. And every once in a while, I would just stop and say, hi, me, like I'm having a meeting that I didn't even plan with 5 parts of myself that I love, because why else would we be here in this moment sharing this joy and then scattered back to the wind? Because then we might not see each other for another 3 days or something. But in that moment, everything I like about everybody in that moment is this part of me that I'm meeting with. So like, I try to look at life like that at all times too. Like anything I like in somebody, I must like in me, and anything I don't like in somebody, I must not like in me. And so that's not the trail marker to follow.
Right. That's a great point. That's a great insight in that. I mean, that's exactly what it is. Right. Sometimes the struggle we have is what we're just struggling inside. We haven't shared, and we're not willing to let out. So we take it out on other people, visually and verbally. And that's unfortunate for the people around us, because the healing, like I said, it starts with the opening up. You have to say it out loud. You got to let somebody, you know what? And you have to let the ability to someone judge you. You have to give the opportunity to let them judge you. Because guess what? If they do, Move on to the next village, bro. We ain't doing that in this village, okay? Move on to the next community.
Yeah. Can I say one other thing that came up from you? How much time do we have?
4.5 minutes.
Are we doing okay?
Yeah.
Okay, I just have 1 minute. The three things that were coming up for me with everything you said from start to finish were, one, I kept hearing like the Shakespearean soliloquies like in my head, like to be or not to be, that is the question. It's the oldest existential human dilemma, right? We're all here, and no matter whether you're born on, some Filipino island in the middle of the South Pacific, or whether you're born white in America, or, whatever your circumstance, you're thinking to yourself, how could this be different no matter who you are, what you're experiencing? And here we are, like, so super blessed, to your point. And I just this week went to a very good friend of mine since kindergarten, lost their father, and they came here from Laos, so they're a Laotian family, and he converted to Catholicism and she stayed a Buddhist, which is the religion of their island. And, are you kidding me? Like, if I can talk to any real practicing Buddhist, especially someone who's 70 or 80 years old that came from that culture, I'm going to ask them as many questions as possible. And one of the first things I asked his mom was, do you believe in reincarnation? And because that is a Buddhist belief. And she said, yes. I mean, not for any other reason other than I think that I must have been served very well in my last life, because in this life, I am serving everyone. And it's not a bad thing, but that's what I feel in my soul, and that's coming up for me on some level, which I love. And yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Yeah, Amber's talking about trying to her, she went to school with, and people we know here, but just to add on that, they celebrate the death for a week plus. Every single day there's something. And
Oh my God, food and celebration and family, and it was beautiful.
So look, even when it's over, your body is over. It's not here anymore. It's not over. It's not over for the people that are here still. One, it's definitely not over in the sense what we think. Right? When you accept death, you'll understand what life is. Everybody has to. Again, does not discriminate. So how are we going to treat it? Do you want to spend our time isolated and alone in our feelings? That's not great. This is great.
No.
This is why on Tuesday I'm jacked up, on Wednesday, and it's going into the week, because on Monday we get to do this. We get to be with each other, speak to each other, speak into each other's hearts, share with each other, impart wisdom, like all these things, to be like, you know what? On Wednesday when I'm struggling, I know I got these people right here that know exactly how I'm feeling. And it really only takes one. But the point is, in the math of it, there might be 4 of us going through the lull right now, or in 2 months, or in 3 years, or in 10 years, where the 2 more of us, or one of us, has to freaking really step up and pull the wagon to give them a rest. So it's not, I don't want to ever underplay anybody's struggle, because that's not my right, and it's not anybody's right to tell you how you feel about something. You deserve to feel how you feel, but the point is, what are you going to do about lessening that, so we can get on moving and live the life in front of us, not behind us? Because it's not, nothing you have done was done by you. It's not your fault. It wasn't done by you. This thing has been planned out way before you're even a thought in your parents' sack and the other thing, the ovaries. So before all that, there was already a plan for
And
you.
I say thing. Yeah.
So I love you guys. Listen, the last thing I'm going to leave you with, because we're running out of time, but is before you lay down tonight in your pillow, just remind yourself that you are okay. Be patient with your life, and all great things are achieved, but they're not all at once. They're day by day, day at a time. Everybody has greatness in them. I love you guys. You're the best part of my week. I appreciate seeing all your happy faces. So next Monday.
Thanks, Michael.
Love you guys.
Love you guys too.
Bye, guys. Love y'all. Bye.
Today's the only day, promise. Love you.
Love you guys.